What's up everybody and welcome to 2025. I wanted to jump on here, wish everyone a happy new year and do a year recap of 2024 and show off everything we accomplished on the F750 CrewCab build series this year. Now some of you guys might be joking and laughing and say, well Joe, not a whole lot got done on the truck this past year anyway, so why are you even showing us? Now there is some honesty and some truth to that statement. Not a whole lot got done on the truck per se visually. However, a lot of work was done on it in terms of the customization and all of the backwards long process stuff that Kyle and I have to do in order to make this truck what we want to make it when it is done. This project has taught me a lot in humility as well as patience. I have been wanting to get this thing on the road for so long. I've owned it for almost 5 years now, and to not have it done, not have it to Kyle and I's specs, to not have it up to our standards, and also not having it drivable has really been a demoralizing thought when I start really sinking my brain down into it and thinking about, well, why isn't it done? But I also have to understand that for this truck to be the final product and the final project that I will be showing off at truck shows all throughout the United States, Kyle and I have to take those extra steps, that extra time, even if it takes months, in order for us to get a truck that we are super happy with, wanting to show off, and a truck that I will be super proud of driving it around town, driving it for work, and letting you guys all see it at truck shows and car shows throughout this country. Another thing that I understand, and Kyle does as well, is we are not full-time YouTubers, we are not full-time content creators. He has a family, I have a family, we have full-time jobs outside of this silly little project that is inside the shop. Now, does that mean we're gonna let this project go on for years? Yes and no. We are into this project a couple years. However, the finish line is getting shorter and shorter every single week that we work on it. There are other projects that Kyle and I want to work on outside of this, so we are very eager and stomping at the bit to get this truck done on the road and out to you guys so you guys can see what we've created. As someone that watches YouTube daily, almost religiously, I can fully understand getting that visual hit of dopamine of clicking on a video and watching a build from start to finish in a quick 20, 30, 40 minute visual time lapse. But on the backside, as someone who is a content creator, a thing that goes into your build and things that you want at the very end of your project, no matter how big or how small, some of those things are not really interesting to you guys, the viewers. So sometimes they get cut out, sometimes they go without being filmed. A lot of the conversations that Kyle and I have are not recorded because, frankly, I don't want to watch that in someone else's video, so I just assume you guys, the viewers, also don't want to watch that in someone like my video. So now that I've told you guys every excuse as to why this truck isn't done, let me take you guys back to the past year of 2024 and do a short little recap of what we accomplished from the beginning of the year to where we are now, and just show you guys how ecstatic Kyle and I are with the progress that we did make. I know the progress doesn't seem like a lot, but in hindsight, we did a lot of fine-tuning, a lot of little knick-knacky things that had to get done that isn't very visual to you guys, the viewer. And because Kyle and I are trying to perfect this truck and make sure that I get everything I want out of it when it is finished, it's kind of the big reason why this project has taken so long. Kyle and I, we think of ideas, we implement them, we modify something, and if it doesn't work, we are very honest with each other and we redo it. Some of the stuff you guys see on camera, some of the stuff you guys don't see on camera. But at the end of the day, I want a fully functioning work truck that drives like a brand new truck. So that way my boys have something that they jump into, is reliable, and they can go out and have fun with me at work, on weekends, and something that they are stoked to see and someday maybe even drive themselves. So with all that being said, let's jump into 2024, a year of a lot of expectations, but also a lot of reality checks for myself, for Kyle, and just how much progress without a lot of progress can go. I don't know if that even makes sense, but maybe you guys will understand. It's fitting for us to review the year. We also have to go to the rear end of the truck because that is where 2024 started for Kyle and I. We had to buy a rear axle, get it installed, and then eventually having to buy new hubs because yours truly bought an F650. And I thought that all 650s and 750 rear axles were a 10 lug bolt pattern. Turns out you actually have to buy the right axle to fit the wheels and tires that you bought at the beginning of this project. Oh, also, you probably shouldn't buy wheels and tires at the very beginning of your project because turns out sometimes they don't fit or sometimes you go with a different set. Luckily, Kyle and I were able to make these ones work. We just had to buy new hub assemblies. After the new hub assemblies were installed on the new axle, everything was kosher, everything worked. Our wheels and tires mounted to the axle, which should have been a first time shot, except for me. A very costly, expensive mistake. I probably will never do that again. However, I think it cost me like $1,500 to learn that lesson, and let me tell you, it is a one-time thing and I will never do it again. After the wheels and tires were mounted on the rear axle, not a whole lot of visual satisfaction for you viewers came for the rest of the year, unfortunately. A lot of the stuff we did were things that had to get done and had to be fine-tuned in order to make this truck what it's eventually going to be come 2025. A lot of time was spent pulling out wiring harnesses from the 2016 donor truck. And I'm sure, as many of you guys know, wiring diagrams and pulling out wiring harnesses can be a huge nightmare. So a lot of time was spent removing wiring harnesses, labeling them, placing them in the truck, making sure we have room to run them when the time comes. Because at the end of the day, we are still shoving an entire 6.7 Power Stroke into an F750 CrewCab. And although the F750 CrewCab is much larger than the 250 donor truck, some things don't line up at all. This truck is actually narrower than the F250 cab-wise, obviously not the fenders. This has big old fenders. So there's a lot of things that you have to play with and you have to spend the time learning and doing and redoing and honestly redoing your redo just to make sure that it is perfect, because at the end of the day, Kyle and I don't want to be driving around a truck that is so-so. We don't want to be driving a truck that people are nitpicking. We don't want to be driving a truck, taking it to car shows and showing it off. And in the back of our minds, not my mind, in the back of our minds, we don't want to constantly be thinking, well, we should have done this different. Oh, well, we should have spent more time on that. Oh, well, we should have done this. We should have done this. We should have tried this. At the end of the day, Kyle and I want to be driving this truck and thinking and telling ourselves, this is the best product. This is the best way that we think this type of swap should have been done. Because at the end of the day, we want no regrets. We want to be able to drive this. We also want this reliable. And we want to be able to enjoy this like it should be enjoyed after a 4 or 5 year long project is completed. One of the big things we had to modify was the grille. Now, we didn't do a chassis swap, we didn't do a body swap, we did an engine swap, which means we had to fit the 6.7 Power Stroke engine in the confinements of this engine bay. Now, the engine bay is larger than your 6.7 Power Stroke engine bay, but that doesn't mean you have more space. That 6.7 Power Stroke engine bay, it is engineered to fit that engine perfectly. And when I say perfectly, I mean literally there's no room for anything or any errors. So what we had to do was we had to take that engineered product and we had to put it into this, but think about how we were going to mount everything and all the components in this engine bay, just like it laid in a Ford engine bay of the F250 donor truck. And at this point, as well as other points throughout this entire build series, you guys might be thinking, well, Joe, that's a couple day project. You know, you whip it out in a couple hours, you move on to the next thing. Now, I agree with you. However, Kyle and I work on this 1 day a week. We usually work on it on weekends, give or take our schedule. But like I said, sometimes things come up. Sometimes I have to work, sometimes he has to work. We have families. Sometimes his family is doing something for a birthday or a holiday, and sometimes my family is doing the same thing. I also have 2 young boys, and I'm not going to skip out things for them in order to build this truck. So at the end of the day, we work on it 1 day a week. And sometimes that one day is interrupted with just normal daily life things that we have to do in order to maintain a healthy lifestyle, maintain relationships with our family and our loved ones. So at the end of the day, this gets put on the back burner, which for our family, for children, we would gladly do this. However, there's a reason why an 8-hour project or a one-day project turns into 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or maybe even a month to complete something. Which brings me back to the grill. The grill had a lot of R&D to make it where it is today. Kyle and I wanted to make a factory looking grill with a slight modification to fit the massive 6.7 Power Stroke coolant package that is on the truck that will eventually be cooling the huge engine. There were quite literally days that Kyle and I would come out to the shop to work, have high hopes of accomplishing a lot of things, but through conversations, through brainstorming, we realized that in order to accomplish that type of grill style, in order to make it look as factory as we possibly could, we had to do a lot of trial and error and a lot of different things in order to make that happen. So, going back to what I said previously, a one-day project or a 2-day project or a 3-day project now turns into a couple weeks or a month, just to make sure that Kyle and I are very happy with the final product of what we're making. So this type of thinking and this type of trial and error concept kind of pushes forward to every aspect of this truck. So after the grill was done and we liked the way it looked, we then moved forward to mounting the hood, which sounds like a very simple, very basic thing to do. You put a hood back on and you put the springs on in the factory bull locations and you're good to go. What could go wrong? Well, when you modify every aspect of a vehicle, that means when you start putting it back together, your factory components don't necessarily fit anymore because they have been modified. So in this truck, we modified the firewall to accommodate for the HVAC system, the factory heat and AC, to accommodate for the massive 6.7 Power Stroke. Well, when you modify one thing, it has a domino effect on other things. And one of the things that it affects is the hood spring locations and how they mount to your firewall / hood cowl. And so just like the grill, this was a huge trial and error moment for Kyle and I. I spent 3 days, so if you think about it, 3 days, which is 2.5, 3 weeks in Kyle and I's YouTube world. I took 3 days to modify brackets, to mount them, to weld another bracket onto them, to tear apart the donor truck hood hinges, to do all this, make sure all my calculations were working, make sure that the hood would close with everything, just to find out that the hood springs pivoted on one axis point. And because of that singular axis point, when the F750 CrewCab hood would lift, it would actually scratch on the hood cowl in the middle of the hood, causing a huge issue because at the end of the day, I don't want to paint this truck. I don't want to have a perfectly painted, clear-coated, and smooth truck just to be denting it and scratching paint off of it every single time I open the hood to show someone the engine bay, or every single time I open it to work on it, or every single time I'm at a car show and I open the hood to expose what's in the wheelhouse of this truck. So if you first don't succeed, you cry yourself to sleep that night and think of a better way to make something work that will favor you in the end and make sure that your application fully functions the way it needs to. So I shelved that idea, all that time spent, kicked it to the curb, and we went back to the factory hood springs, mounted them up, but we still had to modify them. It wasn't just a mount to the firewall, mount the hood, and you're good to go. Where the HVAC sits on the firewall, it jots out a tiny bit. So we had to modify the passenger side hood spring in order to make the hood work the way it needs to in the end. And just like every single aspect of this project, one thing leads to another. So we mount the hood, we get it all nice and neat, and it goes to close. Well, we've also modified the hood latch because the way we have it set up now, that Kyle and I wanted it, is we use the F750 factory hood latch mechanism. However, we modified it just a little bit in order to run the 2016 hood latch cable from the engine bay through the firewall and into the cab, where I can now pop the hood just like you would pop the hood on an F250 6.7 Power Stroke truck. The hood latch mechanism is just one example of things we've had to modify, adjust, redo install, reinstall, just to make everything work the way Kyle and I want it to work at the end when we're driving this truck around town. There's a lot of things that go on that aren't on camera, aren't recorded, and aren't shared on YouTube. Stuff that we introduce, we talk about here and there on our YouTube videos, but doesn't actually make the video because there's so much thought process, there's so much brainstorming, there's so many ideas being bounced between Kyle and I that it would just be too time consuming and make a really dumb, really useless video for you guys to watch. Some of those things are the steering wheel column, the steering wheel application on how we're going to install it. Stuff we've vaguely talked about. We do have a YouTube video on the steering column and just how Kyle attached the 16 steering column assembly to the F750 steering column. But besides that, there's things that are going into this project that we talk about that don't ever make the final cut or a YouTube video. Going back to the steering wheel column, it's stuff like how to mount the steering wheel to the column, how to make sure that we have all the controls on it that we need and want from the factory 6.7 Power Stroke, and just a bunch of random stuff that it makes for a really great final product. It's going to make for a awesome truck. But it's just stuff that isn't recorded, isn't shared, because it's just conversations, it's trial and error. Sometimes Kyle will work on it for an hour here, an hour there, wherever throughout the week or on weekends, and it just never makes a video. And I think that goes for a lot of things. You guys, the viewers, people that watch YouTube, we want to watch a full video with a bunch of stuff being accomplished. We want to see, at the end of a day, a super awesome, crazy custom, or just all original complete vehicle. Something that has so much thought, tons of time, a bunch of effort, and countless hours into making a final product show-worthy or drivable, or something that the owner or builder is extremely proud of. So with all that being said, here's the truck. Kyle and I have very high hopes in accomplishing it and finishing it in 2025. I really do think that we are on the downhill cusp of this truck. At least I hope we do, or at least I hope we are, because I have other projects that I'm trying to get going. Kyle has some projects we want to get going, and we have a lot of ideas for this channel, for future builds, but for now, obviously, we need to get this guy done, which at the end of the day, this is a huge undertaking for our very first build series of this YouTube channel. This is an absolute tank of a project to undergo. I sometimes, for fun, will go to big YouTube channels and go to like their very first video. It makes me feel good about how awkward I am on YouTube videos, but sometimes I'll go to their very first videos or their very first build series. And some of them are huge projects like this, and some of them are a little smaller that could be completed in a couple months. So part of me always wonders, what if we would have started with something super basic that was super easy? You know, we get an OBS Bronco in here, we get it running, we paint it, and that's our first build series. But I think at the end of the day, Kyle and I are both pretty happy with having this as our first truck, our first build series on the YouTube channel. And this is definitely gonna be a staple for what we're capable of and what we want to accomplish in future videos, future build series, and future projects throughout 2025, leading on to the next years after that. With that being said, Happy New Year's. I hope 2025 treats you guys well. I hope you guys finish every single project you guys are working on in this New Year's. Just repay that luck, send some to me so I can finish this truck in 2025. My son will be turning 5 this next coming year, and I have baby pictures of him when I pick this thing up. I might toss it up somewhere, who knows, but that is how long I've been working on this truck. Kyle and I are very eager to get it done, but we are very hopeful that 2025 will be a good year. It is going to be a good year for our families, for everyone we love, as well as for our YouTube channel, this truck, and we hope you guys have a wonderful new year and even better 2025.